Imagine for a moment you're a ship sailing on the vast ocean of life. The waves are like your emotions, sometimes calm, sometimes stormy. But you, my friend, are the captain of this ship. Today we're going to learn how to navigate these tricky waters with calm and confidence. Shut down your emotions. Sounds intense, right? But it's not about becoming cold or unfeeling. It's about mastering your emotions and taking control of your life in a way you may not have thought possible. Emotions are like fire. They can either warm you up or burn everything down. They can fuel your passion or destroy your dreams. The choice is yours. We often hear that we should follow our hearts or trust our feelings. But I'm here to tell you something different. Sometimes your feelings aren't helpful. How many times has fear stopped you from chasing your dreams? How often has anger clouded your judgment and led to regret? How often has sadness held you back? Emotions are powerful, no doubt, but they are not who you are. You are more than your feelings. You have unlimited potential and can achieve anything you set your mind to. But first, you need to learn how to shut down emotions that don't serve you. Now, you might be thinking, shutting down my emotions doesn't sound healthy. And you're right. Bottling up emotions is not the answer. What I'm talking about is emotional mastery. This means recognizing your emotions, understanding where they come from, and then deciding whether or not to act on them. Emotions come and go like clouds passing in the sky, but they don't define you. We often say things like, I am angry or I am sad, but that's not true. You are not your anger or sadness. You're the person experiencing those feelings, and once you realize that, you can take control. Think of it like driving a car. Your emotions are like a Jeep's. They suggest directions, but you're the driver. You can choose whether to follow the GPS or take a different route. That's what emotional mastery is all about. Taking the wheel of your life and steering it where you want to go. Some of you might be thinking, but emotions are natural. They're part of being human. And you're right. Emotions have helped humans survive for thousands of years. But we're no longer living in caves running from wild animals. Today's world is more complex, and our old emotional responses can sometimes cause more harm than good. Think about it. When was the last time your fight or flight response helped you in a meeting? When was the last time a snap emotional reaction solved a problem in a relationship? In today's world, success depends on clear thinking, rational decisions, and persevering. To achieve that, you need to control your emotions when they're not helping you. You may wonder, is it even possible to control emotions? The answer is yes. But like any skill, it takes practice, patience, and a willingness to challenge yourself. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young man who grew up in poverty. He had every reason to feel angry and hopeless. But instead of letting those emotions control him, he focused on what he could control, his actions and thoughts. He worked hard, studied late into the night, and transformed his life. After long days of work, he faced rejection after rejection, setback after setback. But each time he chose not to let his emotions of frustration or disappointment control him. He acknowledged these feelings, then set them aside to focus on his goal. Today, that young man is one of the most successful entrepreneurs in his country. He's created jobs for thousands of people, lifted entire communities out of poverty. And do you know what he says was the key to his success? It wasn't his intelligence, though. He's certainly smart. It wasn't knock, though. I'm sure he had some lucky breaks along the way. Oh, he says the key to his success was his ability to shut down his emotions when they weren't serving him, to push through the fear, the doubt, the discouragement, to make decisions based on logic and reason, not on fleeting feelings. That's the power of emotional mastery, my friends. That's what's possible when you learn to shut down your emotions and take control of your life. Now, I want to be clear about something. Shutting down your emotions doesn't mean becoming cold or unfeeling. It doesn't mean ignoring your emotions completely. In fact, it's quite the opposite. To master your emotions, you first need to become intimately familiar with them. You need to learn to recognize your emotions as they arise, to understand where they come from, what triggers them. You need to develop an awareness of how these emotions affect your thoughts, your decisions. Think of it like this. Your emotions are like the weather. They come and go, sometimes predictably, sometimes not. You can't control the weather, but you can learn to predict it. You can prepare for it. You can choose how to respond to it. In the same way, you can't always control what emotions arise within you, but you can learn to predict them. You can prepare for them. And most importantly, you can choose how to respond to them. This is where the real power lies. In that moment between stimulus and response, in that split second where you decide whether to let your emotions drive your actions or whether to pause to reflect, to choose a different path. It's in these moments that lives are changed. It's in these moments that greatness is born. It's in these moments that you have the power to shape your destiny. But make no mistake, my friends, this isn't easy. It's not something you can achieve overnight. It takes practice. It takes patience. It takes a willingness to fail, to stumble, to make mistakes and learn from them. You see, we've been conditioned our whole lives believe that our emotions are who we are. That to deny our emotions is to deny our emotions, is to deny ourselves. But I'm here to tell you that this is a lie that's been holding you back, keeping you small, preventing you from reaching your full potential. The truth is, you are not your emotion. You are the awareness behind your emotions. You are the one who experiences them, who observes them. And once you realize this, once you truly understand this, you'll have taken the first step towards true emotional mastery. Now, I can see some of you nodding your head, starting to understand, but others of you still look skeptical. You're thinking, this all sounds good in theory, but how do I actually do this? How do I shut down my emotions in practice? Well, let me tell you, it starts with awareness. It starts with paying attention to your emotional states throughout the day. Notice when you get angry, when you feel afraid, when you're overcome with joy. Don't judge these emotions. Don't try to change them. Just observe them. As you do this, you'll start to notice patterns. You'll start to see what triggers certain emotions. You'll begin to understand the stories you tell yourself that lead to these emotional reactions. And once you have this awareness, you can start to make choices. Need to feel anger rising. Instead of lashing out, you can pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this anger serving me right now? Is it helping me right now? Is it helping me achieve my... If the answer is no, then you have a choice. You can choose to let that anger go, to focus instead on what actions you can take to address the situation constructively. The same goes for fear. When you feel that knot in your stomach, that voice in your head telling you you're not good enough, you can pause. You can recognize that this is just an emotion, not a fact. You can choose to act in spite of that fear, to push through it rather than let it hold you back. This, my friends, is what it means to shut down your emotion. It doesn't mean you don't feel them. It means you don't let them control you. It means you're in the driver's seat of your life, not your emotions. Now, I don't know what some of you are thinking. What about positive emotions? Shouldn't we embrace those? And you're absolutely right. Positive emotions like joy, love, gratitude, these are powerful forces for good in our lives. They can motivate us, inspire us, connect us with others, and even positive emotions need to be managed. Have you ever been so excited about something that you made rash decisions? Have you ever been so in love that you ignored red flags in a relationship? Even positive emotions can lead us astray if we're not careful. The key is balance. It's about using your emotions as tools, as sources of information and energy, rather than letting them use you. It's about